we can stored. All right. The first person I'm going to call on is Sister Anuola Jayesimi. Please unmute yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself as our first panelist.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's awesome to be here. My name is Anuola Jayesimi, and I'm married. I have 2 kids. I've been in Regina. I moved from Nigeria to Regina. This is like 4.5 years now. And I just became a citizen November 9th this year. Currently a nursing student. And I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God. I think that's all about me.
Thank you for that introduction. The next person I will call is Sister Funke Agbeja.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Funke Agbeja. I'm a mother of 3, married. I stay with my husband and children in Regina. We got to Regina 2016. It's almost 4.5 years. I'm also a nursing student and I work part-time. I'm a child of God, I'm a Christian and a member of the Peculiar Connect. Thank you.
Also, maybe some of the introduction can also include profession. I know that some people have talked about being a nursing student. So the next person I'll call upon next is Dolapo Shumefun.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dolapo Shumefun. I'm married also. I'm a Christian. I'm married to a man. I think that's important in this era. And I go by the pronouns she and her. I'm a Saskatchewan certified teacher. I relocated here 9 years ago. So yeah, I work in the school. I'm a teacher. I have various experiences. I started from the very bottom. So I thank God, it's been God all the way. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we're going to call on Sister Chioma Adejube. Do we have Sister Chioma able to introduce herself? Okay, I don't see her as part of the participants here. Okay, if we don't have Sister Chioma there, then I will also introduce myself. I'm also part of the panelists, and I would also be trying to chip in as we go along from experience. My name is Oluwasegun Hazan, and I'm a research scientist with Saskatchewan Health Authority. I am also a sessional lecturer at the University of Regina, and I came to Canada in 2014. So I've been in Canada for about 7 years now, and I've transitioned from students to permanent residents. Many people will come to Canada as a permanent resident and go from there, but I have the experience of going from student to permanent resident. So I'm also happy to be here today, and I continue to thank God for how He has helped me and my family. I'm a father, husband to a wife and 2 children. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for taking the time today. We're just going to begin. Like we said, it's an open house discussion, and there are some people who are not even part of the panelists that will have thoughts to share today. We can call on them too as we need. I just want to encourage us to raise our hands up when we feel like we want to contribute. There is that function there that you can just raise up your hand. And when you raise up your hand, we can call upon people so that we can try to organize it. All right. So again, it's open house discussion. You can put your questions in the chat room, but do we have anyone that has questions now? And we can allow you to unmute yourself and share your questions. You know, questions can pertain to, career, it can pertain to vaccination, some of the things that are going on in the Telegram channel. It can pertain to the new restrictions related to the new COVID strain. It can pertain to many areas of immigrant concerns. And it looks like we have Brother Osaretin who wants to share his thoughts. Can you unmute yourself and just ask your question, please?
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Osaretin calling from Edo State, Nigeria. It's a very good platform and I'm happy to be here. Just a quick one. There's a particular case scenario that was shared to us recently about somebody that got into Canada and got evicted almost immediately for violating Public Health Safety Act or something like that. I want us to share more light on the issue.
Okay, thank you
Is it
for
really
that question.
possible to have your PRO status? Thank you.
Thank you for that question, sir. I think I was following the chatter in the Telegram channel, and I think it was Pastor Ruben that began that conversation. Would you be able to shed more light as requested, Pastor Ruben? Pastor Ruben, would you be able to shed more light regarding the experience of the new family that were deported back for not obeying public health guidelines?
Hello, guys. I'm going to come back. I have another meeting now. I'll join you guys to provide answer later.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. So we can come back to that question later, or you have a specific question.
Can I say
initially that you wanted us to shed more light, but do you have more specific questions, and then we try to address.
Can I add to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think what Pastor Ruben was saying is that he had that information, and that's why he shared that information with the house. The thing is, again, there's some posts that have been made there. Is that enough for someone to be deported? The answer from all that is on the website is no. But the thing is, do you have to disobey for you, to be thrown out of the system? So what I would just bring out of there is this: whatever rules or policy or law or regulation that is in place, we know that we are coming from a tough place, and we are coming to a place that is saying it is easy for us to obey here. The best thing for us to do, I would say, is just to adhere to that, policy. It's just 14 days. Obey. After 14 days, you can go out. Whatever it is, that's me. Whatever it is that will make me go back to Nigeria in pain and in shame and in regret, I will stay out of it. So the main thing there is, I don't know, we cannot validate if it is true or not, but the word of caution for us is just stay away from anything that will hurt us, that will cause us pain, like this issue. It may not be true, it may be true, but that's what I just want to draw out from there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is that okay? Do you think that question has been answered, Mr. Osaretin?
Yes, thank you, please. Thank you, please. Yes.
All right. Okay, we have another hand from someone called Ola. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Ola, and I'm speaking from Lagos.
Thank you, sir.
The first thing I want to talk about is the question that was just asked. Even if the person is not deported, I went through Canada.ca, and the Quarantine Act already says the person can either go to 6 months in prison or a fine of 750,000. I'm sure none of us will want to start our month in Canada paying fines or going to prison. So even if the person is not deported, please, let's be careful. The fine could even go up as much as $1 million or 3 years in prison. So please, let's be careful. But my question is two, really. The first one is, I know there's been a lot of new measures by the Canadian government to stem Omicron. So is it that when people land in Toronto, they have to go to the hotel and stay until they get a negative COVID-19 test, or they can proceed to Saskatoon or Regina now to do their, I don't know what it's called, day 2 or day 1 test? And my second question is that for kids, do they have to be vaccinated before they can go to school? I know we have to stay at home for 14 days after we land. Do they have to, with that staying at home for 14 days, then now get vaccinated before they can be able to mix with other children? Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get one of the panelists to attend to the first question of where people stay when they get to the airport and need to do a COVID test?
I'll just like to chip in that as of the last update from Ministry of Health, that was 2 nights ago, all air flights coming from Nigeria has been banned. So I don't think anybody coming from Nigeria would even be allowed to board a plane. I don't think any airline will fly Nigeria. Now, not just Nigeria and some other countries until further notice for now. So I don't think, until further notice. So I don't know. I'm sure that when they lift that ban, there might be new restrictions. But as of now, it's only people from US. If you're traveling from US, they are the only ones that are allowed to come in showing their proof of vaccination and their test results. The test they carried, their PCR test that was done in the last 72 hours before they arrived to Canada. And if their test is negative, they are free to go on to their destination. But if their test comes out positive, they will be denied entry into Canada.
Okay, thank you.
And I was also just going to add about the public health order. Like, public health is taking this issue of its regulations very seriously. Like, just in my community here, like, someone reported that people wearing their mask at public places, and they just got one, like the community got just one warning that if there is any further reports again, they are going to shut down that public arena. So that is just to show you how serious it is. Like, this is even to its own citizens now, not just people that are just landing as temporary residents or permanent residents. This is to its own citizens. So if they will shut down the arena, like, this is hockey season. Hockey in Canada is very, very important and dear to them. So if public health will shut down the rink, regardless of whatever it is, just because they want to ensure that citizens are adhered to these public health regulations, it's just to show you that they're not going to back down on anyone who isn't obeying. So that's just to reiterate what others have said, and for us to just know the seriousness about the public health orders.
Thank you very much, Sister Dolapo. I think he was also asking that, would people get tested at the airport? Would they stay at the airport? Would they wait there before going to their respective cities? Would they be at Toronto to do all these things and wait for their result? So I think we still need somebody to help us answer that question.
I think it depends on where you're coming from. And I say that because, like, there is this app you need to enter. Like, if you're traveling within 72 hours of when you'll be arriving into Canada, as of now, as of today, you're supposed to go and arrive Canada and you're supposed to create an account, fill in all the details, upload your passport, whatever it is. But because there is a ban, I don't think that would apply to Nigeria for now. Like, my mom is coming from the US, and that's why I've had to call the airline to find out from them, and they've even sent out emails. So for now, that's what they're saying. Like, it's only if you're coming from US, that's when you will, like, well, what they told me is just about US, right? And that they were like, oh, if she's not coming from any of the 10 countries, then, but until the ban is lifted for Nigeria, I'm not sure what the restrictions will be, because it changes every day based on wherever you're coming from.
Okay. All right, thank you. I think we have Sister Funke Agbeja's hand. She's also one of the panelists. You want to contribute to some of these questions, ma'am?
Thank you. I think for me, I'm going to be more on the second question, because I don't really know much about the first, because there are speculations here and there. We've not really, the only thing we've heard about is that Nigeria is among the 10 countries that were banned because of the Omicron variant or something like that. So for the vaccine of children, I think it's really important that we take that vaccine for the kids. I understand the facts of where we're coming from. I'm in the medical line. I've had my 2 doses and I'm going in for the booster dose, and the kids have been approved from 5 to 12. So long as you have kids 5 to 12, it is advisable that they take the vaccine. They are not making it compulsory, but in the real sense of it, it's better just to be on the side of caution that the kids have it, because the kids are coming from another part of the world into Canada. I know that there's a research that is saying that when they call it immigrant immunity, like our immunity is stronger than the immunity of people here because of the environment we come in. Our immune system has been built up. So I would advise, it's better, it's not compulsory, but it's better that you get the kids vaccinated before they go to school, because one, the way the things are going now, even for us in school that we're online, the school is asking us, we have to submit proof of vaccination. They'll tell you it's not compulsory, but they're asking us, you have to submit your proof of vaccination. You go to restaurants, they'll ask for proof of vaccination. In schools, they'll ask you to send your proof of vaccination or subject your child to test 3 times in a week, I think, for schools for children. So just to be on the side of caution, I would just advise, if your kids are between 5 and 12 years old, they should take it. That's my own suggestion.
Thank you very much, Ma. I think she answered it, and I can summarize saying that it's not mandatory for children, but the vaccine now is available. Pfizer vaccine has been approved, 5 to 12 years of age. But I know that there are some extracurricular activities that children may not be allowed to take part in if they are not vaccinated, especially sports activities that involve traveling to destinations to play competitively. Children may not be allowed for those activities if they are not vaccinated. Okay, I think we've answered those questions. Are we good? Mr. Ola, are we good with that?
Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you.
We have another hand up. Somebody called Ayodele. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Brand new Chantel Tuesday TLC.
We have Ayodele. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Or someone else can unmute if you have a question. Do we have anyone else that has a question that they want to ask?
Yes, hi everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, good. Let's say good evening. My name is Ayodele. I'm calling you. I'm Georgia. So some of the questions hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, some of the questions I wanted to ask has been answered.
Okay.
But my concern is my question is concerning schooling for children. I recently just got my PPR and I've sent for the passport to get it stamped before this came up. Because when we're hoping to come in by late December, early January, so the children can resume school for the new session where other students are also going in. So my worry now is, will they allow them join in the middle of the session? Then what do you advise people like us that are waiting? What should we do at this moment that we are not sure whether we're allowed to come in or still stay back and all? Thank you.
Okay. I know that we have some of the panelists that have children in schools, in elementary and high schools. Would one of us be able to answer this question?
Sure. So I think I could answer that question. So once you come in, wherever you come into Canada, I believe they have a place we call it Open Door. It's a welcoming center for immigrants. You need to walk in there and register. So when you register, you have the school board is also there. So once you've registered, they'll take all your information they'll give you information about housing. They will tell you, they will refer you to the school, if it's the Catholic or the public that you might be interested in. So they will direct you to it. So they will now make an appointment with you for when you have to come in with your kids. So the first thing they do, when you have, depending on the kids' ages, they will do a test. Sister Dolakwa, I hope I'm right. So they'll do a test for these kids to really know where they should be placed according to their age. So forget if your child is in a double class in Nigeria, when the child gets here, they are going to put that child in the exact class, the exact age. So for example, let's say your child is 7 years old, normally that child will be in grade 2. But most likely, maybe that child in Nigeria is currently in maybe primary 3 or something, which is maybe a class ahead, but the child will be in grade 2. So things like that. So they will now send, after testing you, they will send the file to the school, and then you will now go to the school from there to give them necessary documents, like maybe birth certificate. If you are Catholics, you have to tender your Catholic baptismal record for that child. I think they are still asking for it, but they shouldn't be. So things like that. So that's how it works. So if you come in the middle of we arrived in July, July, and school was going to end I think that's the month, I think school ends in June. So, okay, that won't be a perfect example. So we came in July, children were assessed, and then they resumed in September. So you need to go there, and then they will be the one to tell you, okay, they can resume school. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Sister Anu. I think another question that is still lingering as part of what he asked is that middle of the section. Do we have someone who has experience of maybe a student, your child joined school in the middle of the session, or were not allowed to join school in the middle of the session?
I think,
Just to add
sorry, it's just, I think from what I've learned or what I've heard, I think Sister Dolakwa will be able to expatiate more on it, is at any time that your kids come, they can join the school, depending on how close it is for the end of the year school, because the school system, the way it's run here, is not like in Nigeria where we have first term, second term, or third term, or how do we say it there back home. So I think it runs from September all through April, or no, up through to June. So it's not like first 3 months or something, it runs continuously. So if you come in December and the kids have to go to school in January, they accept them. And the purpose of the test is just to know how to give them extra help in case they need extra help. It's not to demote them to a lower class. No, as Anu has said, based on the age of the kids. I know of a family whose kids were already in SS2 or so, but she was just 14. So she had to go back. She was 13 at that time. So she had to go back to grade 8. They will not say because she's already in high school there, so she will continue. The only advantage is that she's going to always be top in the class because she already had that knowledge. So she already has an advantage of being ahead. So it doesn't matter when you come. I think you can come, except maybe the school is closing in 1 week or 2 weeks. They might say if you still want them to come, they can come just to have a feel of the school. But I don't think they can tell your kid that, oh, they didn't start with them, so they can't join. They can join at any time. Sister Dolapo can share more light on that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll just add what Sister Anu and the last speaker said is true. Like when you come in, your child is allowed to join school. And then one thing to note is that there are lots of school divisions in Saskatchewan. So each school division is different. Like in the school division where I work, we don't test students before admission. So once you come in and you come to the school, you're given a form to fill. And based on the child's age, so the provincial test or the EAL test, front test and penal test that is done on an annual basis. Like one is done in October and it's done up until they're in grade 7. And it's just to ensure that children are all at their expected reading level. So even if a child doesn't perform well at that time, just like Sister Anu said, it doesn't affect the child's placement. So my advice would be whatever school division that is applicable in where you would reside, whatever is applicable there is what you will get. So whatever we tell you here might be a little bit different depending on wherever you eventually settle, wherever your children will go to school. Even if it's 2 days to the end of school, you can still apply. And based on whatever findings, your child will be given admission. And it's very important that you actually apply, like go to school, get the forms filled. The reason why I say that is because here they take class ratios very seriously. And the grants that the school divisions get to run the schools is based on the number of students that are registered for the school year. So for instance, if you come into Canada, schools like for this school session, we will be closing sometime last week of June. So if you come into Canada the last week of June, when school is about closing, I would advise you to make sure you get on ensuring that your children are enrolled. That would help the school division and the school to plan accordingly. Because if your child is not enrolled, they wouldn't get money for that child. So the earlier you enroll your child, regardless of what time you come into the school, the better. It helps them to get the needed services and support that they require.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that question has been answered now, but I have Sister Anu's hand up. And do you want to quickly speak to that before we go to Pastor Ruben?
Yes. So one thing I just wanted to add, not to the question, but just something around it. So there's something good to also know that when you are settling, you have to be really sure that that's the environment you want, because just as Adolapo said, your child will be placed in the area, that jurisdiction where you live. So it's that community that your child will go to school to. If you leave that community and move to another school, except that school is still within that community, then the file will be transferred. Once you move like from a northern part of the town where you are staying to like the east, you will have to do it will be another transfer again to another school. So I'm just saying it because for my child, I had to go back again through open door because he was moving from kindergarten and moving to the normal, I think, I can't remember whether it was preschool to kindergarten, something like that, but we had to go back again and do some reassessment because we left that area totally. So that's something to also consider, that you can't be staying in K2 and then maybe your child school's in Lekki. No, you have to be under that jurisdiction for your child to kind of go to school.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. That's very helpful. I'll pass it on to Pastor Ruben. He's back on and he has his hand up. And I think he wants to shed more light on the experience of people that violated public health order. Please go ahead, sir.
All right, hello guys. I want to thank God for this privilege that we have together. I want to thank the organizers and everyone. I just want to touch on a few things based on the particular one experience. One of my pastor was sharing that with us yesterday. The issue is this, which I want to re-emphasize. Canada is not Nigeria. I want us to understand that clearly. So if there is a subsisting law on ground, it suffices everyone to ensure that they comply. And if they say quarantine, especially with the new regulation, it is the onus lies on us or anyone to fully quarantine. Now, if somebody just landed in Canada as a PR, please note, you are just landing in Canada, or you don't have any attachment yet. Even if you are carrying a PR card holder, you don't really spend. We are just few days in Canada. We've seen people that have been deported as a PR. The only people that cannot be deported is a citizen. The only difference is that before the deport, if you have stayed in Canada for a number of days or months or things, or more than a year or things like that, is that they won't just deport you immediately. There are processes they are going to go through. But somebody that is just landing, you don't have any attachment here. You don't have anything, nothing yet. It's easy to get you back because you don't have any. There is no attachment that is attaching to Canada as it were. So I will advise that if you have an instruction, there's a family that just joined now, bro, wifey, and I think he will share his experience because he just came in last week Friday to Saskatoon. Sorry, I live in Saskatoon, so that will clarify the whole issue. I live in Saskatoon. So, and I think it's better for those that just joined or that just landed, let's say in the last 1 week, they are more in position to share one or two things regarding the instruction on this issue of quarantine than even those of us that have been here for more than a year or two and we don't have any cost to travel and things like that. So it's important we understand the process and the procedure. They are going to put on a close monitoring. They'll be calling you. They will come to your house unannounced, unexpected. And I'm going to tell you they're coming. They will bump into your house. You just want to check to ensure that they are complying with the instruction. And like has been said at the beginning, so I've been back for some time, but I'll just following through. The issue of COVID, Canada is taking it very, very seriously. I'm glad that Bro Hazan is in the health region. The issue is, I also work with the health region. They're not going to tell you it's compulsory, you have to do vaccinate. I'm talking about vaccine now. But the way the things are going now, they are making it difficult for you to even engage in some certain things. For example, if you work with the health region and you are not, for whatever reason, you don't want to get vaccinated, you are expected to do a PCR test 3 times a week at your own expense. At your own expense. And that's maybe about $220 per month or things like that and stuff like that. And there are some restaurants that if you want to go to now, they demand for your vaccine certificate, which is the QR code that you download on, if you have my heart basket account, download those code and things like that. But for those that are just coming newly, it is advisable that if you have waited for maybe a year to process your paper, or maybe 6 months, I don't know for how long, 2 weeks will not be too much for us to wait and just ensure that we follow those through. I mean, we have sacrificed a lot to come. We have sacrificed. The people have done a lot, so much. 2 weeks will just be appropriate for us to just observe. I'm going to allow brothers. I don't know, maybe he's gone. Brother Waifu, he came in last week, and at the airport, he was not told to quarantine on Friday 26th. I picked him up at the airport on 25th, and he told me he was not told to quarantine. But on Monday, this Monday, he got a phone call through the phone he used as a contact that they need to quarantine because he has a daughter that is 14 years old, and that daughter was not quarantined. I think Nigeria does not quarantine something that is maybe something below 12 years or 12 years. I don't think they quarantine children in Nigeria. I'm not too sure. But as at the time he was coming in, himself and the wife were fully vaccinated. But their 14-year-old daughter was not. So on Monday, he got an email and a phone call saying they must quarantine. And since that Monday to now, they've been on their neck, calling them, monitoring them closely, and telling them they should not go out. You don't have anything to go out for now. They have to quarantine until December 9. And he's even got his own house, but he could not move in now because of the quarantine, because where he was staying, he's staying with his cousin, and that one of the lot to let them stay for that period of time. So the issue of vaccination is very critical. Especially for those that are just landing. And of course, December 4th, I think they've placed an embargo on Nigeria now. You cannot even come in. We have people that are supposed to land today now. They called Ethiopia Island, those ones said they cannot pick them because the instruction they have is that they should not pick them up. So until otherwise stated. So please, it is important that we just, for those that are just coming in especially, let us endeavor to observe those 2 weeks. It is very important. It's not going to cost you anything. I'm not going to lose anything. You're just there to just observe it. And on that issue of that school, I think Sadolakwa make a very strong point regarding the school division. Here in Saskatoon, I don't think the issue of a Catholic baptismal card of suffice. No, I'm not a Catholic by church or what have you. And when we came, they didn't ask us for those things. Maybe it's only Regina, I'm not too sure. But I don't think it applies to Saskatoon. And like the school division, like Sister Dolakwa said, the school division that is close to you, just go there, call, like for example, the Greater Saskatoon Catholic School. That's the school division that controls the Catholic school here in Saskatoon. And what we do to newcomers is we'll just give them the phone number. They call them straight away. Yes, Open Door is there to support the newcomer, but it's not necessarily they have to go to the Open Door to access the school division. You can also call them directly by yourself. Call them directly and just give them your information. You're a new arrival in town and you want your children to go to Catholic school. They will fix an appointment with you and walk you through the system. They will ask you where you stay. Like as Sister Funke Agbeja said, they would, based on where you stay, is the school that is closest to you that they would enroll you. And you can enroll at any given time. Like Sadolako said, yeah, they get they get subscription per child. So even if you come in, the school is coming in January and the school has started, you will still join the school. They will still allow you to join the school. Where I'm talking about from Saskatoon here and things like that. A family that will just pick up on ending of November. They came in November, mid-November, and the school section started, I think, September. They joined within 1 week that they landed. They called the school, the Greater Saskatoon Catholic School Board, and they asked them, where do you live? And they fixed an appointment. The appointment was even through Zoom because of this restriction and there. And they fixed them in the school that is closest to where they live. So I don't think there's any issue regarding the school. The most important thing is that you land in whether Regina or Saskatoon. Once you land, most of the questions will you find answer readily. You may still be in Nigeria, there are a lot of doubt there and there, but as soon as you land, I can guarantee you that a lot of the fears and doubt that people entertain will not be an issue because there are structures on ground to cater for all those things. So thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you very much for that extensive and comprehensive explanation to some of the things that were discussed earlier. I think, summarizing it, this is a system that works, and it's a system that you can easily navigate your way by information. I want to say up front again that Peculiar Connect assists with many of these things that can even make us to violate the vaccination protocol. So we can assist with, for the times when you are in quarantine, to help you, to provide, to assist you with getting groceries and things like that. And you can make calls to arrange for appointments for things rather than jumping on the street when we are supposed to be vaccinating, be quarantining. So thank you very much. I think that question was properly addressed. We're going to move on to one question we have here in the chat room. Somebody is asking, someone called BB, he's saying, my question goes to the nurse. If I want to switch to nursing, how do I go about it? And I don't have a science background though. So I will call on Sister Funke Agbeja I know you are studying nursing. Could you shed some light on this? And Sister Anu can also talk about it.
Okay, nursing, it depends. Like for me, when we came in 4 years ago, I went to the students, Regina. And so I went to University of Regina. The way it is, we have University of Regina and University of Saskatchewan. And both universities have nursing, but they all have different policies on how they do their nursing program. So I'll be talking from my own perspective from University of Regina. For University of Regina, when I went to the Student Enrollment Center, I told them about my interest and they gave me 2 options. They have a program for people who already have a degree back home. And then you have more advantage, especially if you have masters. I had masters. So I was given an option to do what we call accelerated nursing. Instead of the usual 4 years nursing, it will be 2 years. It does not matter if you have a science background. The time it matters if you have a science background is if you go to Polytechnic, either OND or HND, and that's what you have. You'll be advised to go back to do the sciences. That's biology, chemistry, maths, and English in Saskatchewan Polytechnic. They'll give you the instruction, but the most important thing is you have to go, depending on what you have, to get up-to-date information, because it's been a while since I went to student enrollment in the University of Regina. I'm almost done with my nursing program. So what you will do is you go, they will need your transcript. For me, they asked for my certificate for the first degree and my master's degree, and they needed a transcript. Even though I had a copy of my transcript, they still needed transcript directly from the school. The only advantage my transcript did was that it enabled them to open a file for me, so that when the application process date opens, I will be able to be put on the wait list conditionally till they get a letter. So it depends. If you have a master's degree, you have a better chance of getting into either the 4-year program or the 2 years program. If you have HND or AOND, then you have to prepare your mind that you will do the SS3, that SS3, chemistry, physics, biology, you do it here in Canada, because I think they believe our syllabus is outdated. And then also, I just forgot something I wanted to say now. Yes, they will need your WAEC certificates. So they will ask you to send your WAEC PIN to them. They will verify that results themselves and then send it to Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Saskatchewan Polytechnic is responsible for handling the nursing, the Faculty of Nursing, the 4 years degree nursing program, but is run by both Saskatchewan Polytechnic and University of Regina. The 2 years nursing program is solely handled by University of Regina, but students receive lectures from both University of Regina and Saskatchewan Polytechnic. So just make sure, it depends. Are you a master's degree holder? You won't need to do sciences. You don't even need to have a science background. Why that has advantages, because you already have an experience of what it is like to be in a higher institution. So you'll be able to cope with their own system, which in the real fact is completely different from the way university is run in Nigeria. It's different. I know back home, I remember in my undergraduate studies and my master's program, we would do like 4 or 5 courses and we'll still do well. This place, you can't combine 4 courses together because it's tedious and hard. But you have an advantage. We have an advantage because we are tough-skinned, because of the situation back home. We are stronger, we can survive it. That's the only advantage I think we'll have over them. But the way it is, it's not an easy program. I was reading is it like a survey that was carried out, and they said, which course is the hardest in Regina right now? And they said nursing is the hardest, and that's the statement of fact. Because the way they run things is different. It's not like, back home, we just read our book, scrum, and they'll ask, what is science? You define science. What is patient care? You define patient care. It's not like that. They're going to give you applied questions and you do it. But the most important thing is, make sure you get your certificates. You can go to the University of Regina website or University of Saskatchewan website, click on their Faculty of Nursing, and then check, they'll put on their website, they'll put their requirements. There will also be an email on each of those schools that you can send an email and you can start talking about it so you can be prepared before you come. That's my own suggestion. Anu can add more.
Okay, I think Sister Funke has said it all. All I just wanted to add is, for example, if the person is saying they don't have a background, when you come in, as Sister Funke has said, you need to get those courses running. So Saskatchewan Sax Polytechnic offers those courses for free for certain ages, like adult education. The courses are free. So you can go there. They are mostly like evening classes, and it's online right now due to COVID. So you can go to Saskatchewan Polytechnic. I'll get the name of that program. I don't know the program exactly, but once I get it, I can share it on the group. So you go there and then they register you for all those courses that you need for your foundation to apply into nursing. So that's like the accessory. So if you don't have like sciences experiences, just go to Sax Poly. It's here in Regina, and then you can apply for it. It's usually online. Then there was one thing also I wanted to add, but I can't remember right now. It's also pertaining to the nursing thing, but when I remember, I'll just add it. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Sister Anu, Sister Funke. If you can be able to get that link for us and just put it in the chat room, that would be great. Thank you very much for that question and for the answer.
Sorry, I just remembered. I'm so sorry. So secondly, if you are already in-house and you want to do it, I know people had problems with getting their transcripts from school. So another thing is, if you did well, you can actually convert it to academic and send it to school. So you can ask the school before converting it to academic that, will they accept West or they still want your WAEC? Because West has verified. Because I know for somebody that it happened, that was what she did, instead of paying all those thousands to school. And then I think they sent the documents down to school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So just for short, please get your transcript ready. Whatever education you have had, get it ready, let the school assess it. Maybe it knocks off 2 years for you or a year. And if you have to do foundational courses too, you can do them. So please get your transcripts ready. All right, we have a question here in the chat room. Or before that question, can we go to Mr. Uwaifo? Because I know that Pastor Ruben talked about you and you wanted to share lived experience live here on this channel, given that you just came in recently. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience at the airport, Mr. Uwaifo? Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to very well express our deep and profound gratitude to the Peculiar group. I don't think we've experienced so much of love and care and concern, especially for people that you don't even know. That is why the Peculiar group, the name actually is synonymous to the things that is being done. And of course, like this morning, I was also mentioning to my wife, I said, I've automatically become a member, and I'm ready to do all that was done to me, of course, in a much greater measure. Particularly, thank you, Pastor Ruben Adeleye. You've been more like a brother and a senior colleague for us. Yes, we left Nigeria on the 25th of November. We flew in through British Airways. We did all the necessary arrive can and the PCR test on the 24th the lifting from Lagos on the 25th. And we went through Heathrow and got to Toronto on the 26th, sorry. And there was it was so easy because of the news and all the things that we have read and all the things that we have read and heard, how difficult it used to be at the port of entry and all that. So we're really geared and prepared for whatever it was. But we're just asked to fill some things, and the COVID test was not done to any of us. We're a family of 4, my wife and I, then I have a 14-year-old daughter and I have a 8-year-old son. They just put on our passport PHAC. I know it's the Public Health Agency of Canada or something like that. I'm getting used to the nomenclature.
That's
you know,
correct.
but
That's correct.
So we went through, we're in transit in Toronto for about 4 to 6 hours, and we boarded and landed in Saskatoon about almost midnight. And lo and behold, Pastor Ruben was there and with my cousin. Now, we had signed a lease agreement on an apartment before we came into town. We hadn't paid the what's it called? The full rent, the rent for the month, because the agreement was supposed to commence December the 1st. But of course, the security deposit of $750, they asked us to pay 50% of that so that we could secure the place, which we had done prior our coming to Canada. So the rent was going to take effect from 1st of December. And we had to move to my cousin's place. And because my daughter was not, of course, from Nigeria, you must be 18 years and above for you to be fully vaccinated. My wife and I are fully vaccinated, but my children, especially my 14-year-old daughter, she's not vaccinated at all. So we got here and got to the basement. But of course, we didn't know we're supposed to quarantine. What actually gave birth to as Pastor Ruben mentioned, the phone calls and every other thing was the fact that the Omicron that they said 2 people came in from Nigeria that had the Omicron. Monday morning, 9 a.m., we got a call. We got a call for us to quarantine, and we have not gotten our SIN. The only thing we have done is only things that we have done virtually online in terms of sourcing for schools for our daughter, our children, also sourcing for the health card, which we applied online. And on December 1st, we went to pick up the key. So since, as we speak, we've only gone out like once, just once, to get the key. And we've been able to, thank you so much, the other persons who have talked about the schools. It's been really helpful because on Saskatoon Open Door Society, we actually registered for, we were registered and they gave us a date where we're supposed to come in. Then for the school, we have gone as far as getting in touch. Well, my daughter wants to go to the Holy Cross High School. So we contacted Holy Cross High School and they referred us. That's why I'm making reference to this, because that's what somebody mentioned on the platform. And they referred us to the Greater Saskatoon Catholic School Board office. So we called them. And one of the most important thing is that I think as first timers coming into Canada, whether you are asked or not to quarantine, and if you're coming with children who are not quarantined, it is very, very paramount that you do so. Because one of the questions that they asked us at the Greater Saskatoon Catholic School Board was, when did you come into town? We specified. So it was based on that, and they asked us if we are actually quarantining. And we told them, yes, that our quarantine expires on December the 9th. So they gave us an appointment for December the 15th, and also for the scene, Pastor Ruben, of course, I don't have a phone number, but of course, I'm using my cousin's number now, but Pastor Ruben has been really, really, really fantastic and helpful to the entire family. We've been using his number for some contacts, especially for scene. We have a date for the 10th of December. So it's been really fantastic. We've also called, we've been receiving phone calls and emails responding to Government of Canada, Saskatoon Health, Public Health, and all that. So it's been one to another. We got in touch with them. They directed us to Life Lab to collect some test kits. They also directed us to Switch Health to collect test kits. We haven't received any of them. And as we speak, we have not stepped out and we're receiving phone calls left, right, and center. And the last call we got was when I told them that we're expecting the test kits from Switch Health. They told us that once the test is done, of course, administered by a virtual nurse, once that is done, the results of that test kit, be it whatever the result is, that we should send a mail to a particular email address, which is test.followup.covid19.suvid period, blah, blah, blah. They gave us a particular email address that we should send our names, the test dates, the test provider, the test number, and the results of the test, which of course we're expecting the test kits. And once that is done, we'll send that to them. And we hope by Thursday, December the 9th, all these will be over. And we spoke to, from the Saskatoon Public Health, there was a very wonderful gentleman who told us, I know how it can be for us to be in the house for 8 days, not going out, having nothing to do and all that. But he just told us that hang in there, it's just 6 days to the time, and we will just be over. So like I said from the inception, I think the only reason why this peculiar group was created was because of my family and I. We are indeed very grateful to everyone who has contributed one thing to say, go left or go right. Pastor Ruben has introduced us to a couple of people. As I speak with you now, there's somebody helping us to move our things that we have never met before. The mattresses and all is from this group. So on behalf of my wife, on behalf of my daughter and my son, I want to say thank you. And please note that Wifo in Mafidon and Phoebiana in Mafidon, we are committed to this group to helping those who are yet to land into Canada anyhow possible. We will do that. We are readily available to do that. Thank you so much, and we're very grateful.
Thank you, Mr. Wifo. We appreciate you and your family. We thank God for what God is doing through amazing people in Peculiar Connect. We want to know that we have Mr. Olaoluwa Awotunde's hand, and his hand has been up for long. But Mr. Akin Agbeja, are you looking to ask a question? If it's just a contribution, we can quickly take it. But if it's a question, I would like to go to Mr. Olaoluwa first.
Yeah, it's a contribution. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Akin Agbeja. I'm in Regina. I just want to chip in something to new people coming in. Yeah, your phone will be blocked for now, and I know I'm talking from experience. So if you move an inch, they know. So be mindful of what you post on social media. Be mindful of what you talk on phone for now, because your phone is being monitored. That's my contribution. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very important food for thought. This is an area where technology is very advanced, so let's be mindful, let's be careful. All right, Mr. Olaoluwa, can you unmute and ask your question?
Okay, thank you so much, this great family, for this opportunity to be part of this session. I'm very, very grateful to God for connecting me to you people. I am a prospective immigrant. I have my application submitted, and I'm awaiting decision actually, which I hope and trust God that should be done very soon. But I have two questions. One is concerns academic transition, because I'm looking at changing my discipline entirely when I get to Canada. And while one of mentioned for the fact that when she got to Canada, I mean, she applied for nursing, and because of her master's degree qualification, she was not. She was given some concessions. She was not. She wasn't going to do the full 4 years. She wasn't going to spend 4 years for the nursing program. She was admitted to spend 2 years. And I want to ask if this is only applicable specifically to nursing, or does it apply to every other discipline, especially in University of Regina, because I'm also looking at settling in Regina. Does this apply? that's what I want to know. And then two, I don't know if there's anyone in the family that is an environmental engineer, or do we have a data scientist also? Because I'm actually looking at making a decision between the two disciplines. I will really need advices on those. That's one. I don't know if that's a question or two questions.
So Mr. Olalua, I don't think I got the first question because the line was breaking. Can you?
Next and the last one is.
Mr. Olaolu, if you can hear, if it's better if you can type it.
I'm still single now, and
It looks like your connection is cutting in and out. So we are not able to hear you properly.
Hello, can you?
Yes, we are hearing you, but it's cutting
all right,
in
let
and
me
out.
type it then. I'm so
Can
sorry.
you type it? Yes, please. Please. Thank you.
I think I got
Okay,
part of
let me
the
type it.
question about the nursing
All right.
program. Let me correct that I was given two options. I got admitted to go for the accelerated nursing program 2 years, and I got admitted for the 4-year program. But I decided to go in for the 4-year program because I had to put a lot of things into consideration. I had to put into consideration my kids. At that time, I think I had a 3-year-old son. And then my kids were not old enough. My oldest right now is a teenager, 14, who can take care of the 2 younger ones. So I opted for the 4-year program, but can finish that 4-year program in 3 years. Me not doing the foundational course, I don't know if it's the same with other programs, but I know for Faculty of Nursing in the University of Regina, that faculty is peculiar. And there are some courses that when you do in nursing and you score 80%, it's a fail. And I'm talking from experience. While in other courses, you score 80 is a pass. But in nursing, there are some courses where you score 80 and it's a fail. And that will result to an extra year. So it depends on the course you want to do. That's why I'm saying it's better that when you get to Regina, you go into University of Regina, you go to the enrollment services. All those people, they have up-to-date information. Each faculty is run differently in the University of Regina. I know from experience, engineering, you have to be, is it certified now? I don't know how it is. It's not, you have to, it's either you write an exam to qualify you to practice as an engineer, or they'll go through your certification and tell you, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. It depends. So everybody, every organization has their own peculiarity. It depends on what you want to do. And if you want to change course, you have to sit down and, like the Bible says that which man will build a house or do something without first sitting down and calculating the cost. For me, the reason why I didn't go for the 2 years is because I still work part-time because I can't combine full-time with my schooling. Some people can. My friend is actually running a full-time job and nursing school. It depends on your ability. So is either I was working part-time and going to school. I still work part-time and I'm going to school. I had to consider the time I'll go and pick my kids from school because the school will close at 3:35. And if the school bus comes, like my 5-year-old, they get to the bus stop and they don't meet a parent or someone they know, they are going to take that kid back to the school. And if that keeps happening, I might be reported to social services. My husband, his schedule is different from mine. It might be that it will not be, there's no way he can be home at 3:45 or 3:35 to pick the kids because of his own shift. So that was why I decided to go for the 4-year program, but applying to finish in 3 years. So when we have summer break, I'm in school. I won't have a break because the school also runs during the summer, long summer break. So it just depends. Every department has their own peculiarity. I don't know if you have more insights that you can share.
Yeah, in fact, that was really, really helpful. Thank you so much. And then the other question I asked is, I don't know if there's any engineer in the house, maybe an environmental engineer or a data scientist, either of the two or both of them, because those are those are the options I'm considering actually to establish my profession there in Canada. Then the second question, and this should be the last question, is how easy do you think it is for someone to bring a fiancé over to Canada? Because for those of us who are still single applicants, definitely have to settle down our families, and then so how easy it is to bring in a fiancé into Canada, or does the marriage not have to be tied first before someone can apply for spousal sponsorship? Or I don't know if you understand my question.
So you're saying someone you haven't married?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So can we have somebody help with that? As part, one of us one of the panelists can assist with that.
This is mine.
Like, I came to Canada before my husband came. It's easier if you are married. Even though I say it's easier, it still takes a while, not so long, but it's a very rigorous process. Even though when I initially applied, I was already married then, and everything was already, like I told them, I submitted all my wedding certificates, and it was fine. And they even asked me, do I have plans to go back to visit? I said it and all of that. But then, when I applied for him to come over, we were already married for some years. They required pictures, they required receipts, they required phone calls, everything to show that we were married. So it might be a little bit difficult to bring somebody you are not married to. And these are the reasons. Some, like, well, in the past, or I don't even know if it's still happening now, but every now and then, immigration does get calls and reports of people extorting one another. And because of that, they are very, very strict on just bringing somebody you are not married to. And even people that you are legally married to, you really have to prove to them, beyond all reasonable doubt, that you are indeed married. Like, they would ask for even cards, like anything to show every amount that we spend, receipts of everything we spent for our wedding, our joint properties, like you have to prove to them. So if you want to bring it, my advice to you is legalize it before you come or before you start processing. It's always easier because a fiancé, except if it's your common law, and I don't, like, Canada does recognize common law. So common law means living with somebody who you are not married to. And before that person can be considered a common law, you must have been living together for 2 years. And you must also be able to prove that that person is your common law. So you must have like a joint account. You must have maybe joint bills. You must be able to prove to them that both of you have been living together or you've done things together. So I don't know if that answers your question. So those are the easiest ways to bring a spouse or your better half to Canada.
That was really, really helpful. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Dolapo, for answering that question. So again, that's the easiest way. Then the other ones are the hard ways. Some people may try to come in separately, maybe as students. Maybe they get their spouse to come in as students and they come in as well, maybe as a worker or as a student or something. But those are very long processes. Those are harder ways. If you are married, it's easier to show proof, and it is easily approved too. When you provide the right documentation, they easily approve it. I don't think I know anybody that was able to bring somebody and said, this person we were not married. It was just my fiancé, and was able to do the application using that as the purpose or the basis of the application. I don't know anybody in that.
That's the tall order. That's the tall order. My brother, that's the tall order to do. It is better you get married and legalize, like the Sister Dolapo has said. But that even if you now come here as a single, and then you now go back to go and marry, you are starting a different process entirely. When you went back to Nigeria to go and marry her, she will still be there. Why you now have to come back to Canada? There are people that do that. They are not married when they came. They went back to marry and they came back to Canada. Their spouse is in Nigeria. I have a sister in church now that they just got approved for her husband to come, and they got married last year. And since that early last year, she's been trying to process those people, because while she was there, she came in as a single person, not married. But while she was here, she got engaged and went back to Nigeria to go and do the wedding. But she now, after the wedding, she came back to Canada while the husband that she got married to was still in Nigeria, and submitted all her papers and everything since last year. She just told me about 2 weeks ago that they have approved the husband to come. So the husband is coming in by January. So that is what I can say regarding that one.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think that's very good. There's a question in the chat room. Someone was asking that he's a doctor, PhD doctorate from Nigeria, and asking about how easy it is to transition to lecturing jobs, and also asking how easy is it generally to be able to work and use your qualifications. So that's a very, very interesting and very broad question, which I would like to quickly contribute towards that. I teach at the university, so I would just advise that if you're looking to go into the lecturing line, a good way to start is applying for sessional lecturer positions. There are sessional lecturer positions that are posted for every semester. And we have 3 semesters, the winter, the spring and summer, and then the fall. So if you look towards those positions and try to apply for those positions, you can use that to start getting yourself into the academic line. However, without Canadian experience, the chances of getting those positions are lower compared to people that perhaps have Canadian experience. And you don't have to limit yourself also only to academic positions. If you have PhD back at home, let's start researching and browsing through opportunities as well in the industries. There are opportunities for doctorates in the industries. Like I'm working with Saskatchewan Health Authority, and I finished my PhD in 2019, and I'm not working directly in the university as my major job. So you can work in the industry as well if you have your PhD. But I would say that the rate or the degree to which it is easy for you to get a job here depends on your commitment and your preparations, and also with the favor of God, because you need to be able to tailor your CV to what they are looking for here. You need to understand the system, and you need to do all these things even before coming here, so that you are preparing yourself for a good transition into career here in Canada. We did a video where we had a coach, a career coach, come into one of our sessions to talk to us, Anita Adefuye. She's also a sister who is the founding member of Peculiar Connect. And she gave us a very inspiring session. And I'll just put the video here in the chat room for us. So that's the video we did, which is totally on career. So even Mr. Olaoluwa, who was asking about engineering and things like that, please watch the video. The video talks about career tips, and it's a very extensive and comprehensive video. So go over that video if you have some questions regarding career, and I think that should be really helpful. All right. Do we have any other questions? I see some hands up, but I think people perhaps forgot those hands up because they have spoken after those hands were raised.
Sorry, I didn't forget the hand up. I just wanted to add a few things.
Okay, please go ahead, ma. Yeah.
Okay, since it's just a privilege to be here today, just to mention something from experience. Okay, so just to add to, I think Brother Ola, I think he was the one that talked about what he wants to do. Just as the host has said, we need to really do research. Don't wait till you get here. What do you really want to do when you get here? This is a land of opportunities. There are a lot of things you can do here, but what do you really want? So you need to do that research, search those things. If you want to do a course, go to the school site of the province you are landing in, your desired school, the desired course. Go and check the requirements, read it inside out, get prepared, get your CVs prepared, and start applying. Another thing to watch out for also is that now you have landed, you'll be driving around, seeing beautiful cars, lovely, lovely things. Wisdom is profitable to direct and to deliver. Don't bring the hard-earned money that you have brought here to settle. Don't get enticed by marketing people telling you to buy vehicles, brand new vehicles, and turn down your destiny. It will come back to haunt you in different ways. Now, there's something we have here that is called credit score. So I just need to be open and truthful to you guys. We are Nigerians. We love good things. When we come in, look at that beautiful car. I've been dreaming of this car. My GM is right. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to pose and send pictures home and stuff. You don't need it. Really, there are lower vehicles, that same car, maybe not that same year, that you could even get way, 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 way cheaper. Go to SGI, talk to people in the church that there's what we call SGI site. I think salvage site or something like that, that people get cars from. Go to talk with people in the church. They will not mislead you. Seriously. Why I said these things will come back to haunt you, when it's time for you to apply for some things that they need to use your credit score from. Remember, you have been maybe deceived by a salesman to get a vehicle, and then you've gotten this vehicle and now you are paying maybe $150 per week or bi-weekly or whatever it is called. The thing is, by the time you are now ready to do something which is much more important, like a shelter, like a house, your credit score will be so low to, for you to apply. And all those kind of things could bring in depression and stuff. Grow a step at a time. I tell you, this land is filled with milk and honey only if you are wise about it, about your finances, about the way you plan your life. Another thing is we need to create time for our children. Don't get carried away with the job, with the money that you are getting. If daddy is not home, mommy must be home. We need to monitor these children. It's easy for the children to derail. Make sure that they are engaged in the things of God. It is easy to lose focus here, get confused at first. But with you being in the Christian fold, I know we will all be fine. You can, if you have anything going on, walk up to Pastor Riemann, walk up to the pastors in the house, but the host, walk up to people, talk to them. There are things that are still being confused. One more thing I want to say that can actually destroy your credit score, because that credit score is a gold certificate to so many things, is also when you have something called credit card. Fine, Nigeria, we pay our things in cash. We don't get credit. So when we get here, the bank says, pay the minimum amount, $10, and you are owing $700. You pay $10. Remember, the interest and everything is still coming on the remaining $700. You are still owing. Okay, if you spend $500, make sure you have a replacement back for that $500 by the time the second is coming back. So these are some information that some people mislead newcomers coming in, that just pay the minimum balance and then their credit score keeps destroying. These are things that they would check when you need to buy a house or when you need to do some other important, maybe you need to take a loan to start a business. These are things they will check. Are you a faithful person in the payment of how many debts does this person have on their head? So that's what I have to just chip in. Please don't make a mistake. Come in, give wisdom, pray about things before you just go into it. Everything will look very catchy, Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived into taking steps that are not right. Thank you. God bless.
Just to add to what Anu said, It's we are Nigerians, we be Naija, and we like good things, and then we like posting things on social media that, hey, I just bought the latest car. Because these people will come and tell you, it's a good life, we're not going to disturb you. They'll talk to you, agree that, okay, I'll be paying bi-weekly. Even if you have a good credit score, let's say you have a credit score of 775, and you are still paying on your car, it's going to affect your mortgage. It's either you don't get the mortgage, or because of, oh, okay, I want a mortgage of 550, and you have a car that you're servicing, you might not qualify for that 500 and something thousand Canadian dollars. So the best thing, we tell people, there's information everywhere, but it's one thing for us to share the information, it's another thing for us to make use of that information. You can go, apart from the SGI, you can go on Facebook. There are people that want to sell their car, good cars, for $5,000, $7,000, and you pay it off once, and you don't have to think of paying it bi-weekly or whatever. It's very easy for us to get distracted here because, of course, Nigeria is hard. We have suffered. And then you come here and you see things as you want it, and they'll tell you can get it. And if they tell you you can get it, you can get it. But there are hidden things underneath getting those things. There are hidden things underneath getting those things. They will say, oh, okay. Sometimes they will even tell you, oh, you've been faithful in paying back your credit. And then they keep giving you more. And then, the more you see in your credit, maybe you have a credit score of 10,000 and you are just saying, this is free access to 10,000 and you spend it. You will suffer for it. You will pay for it. So wisdom is really, really profitable to direct. Therefore, the children too is very important, like Anu said, to monitor these children. We have to be careful of the way we communicate with our children at home, because in schools, they have a way of getting information from the children about how the family is being run. We are Nigerians, and the way we bring up our children back home is totally different from the way the Canadian government wants us to bring up our children. I won't hide it. I still beat my children. This is whatever. I still beat my children if they misbehave. But even if you are going to beat them, make sure you don't leave mark on them, because these children, we still need to have a stronghold on them. My son was telling me recently about them, teaching them about the LGBTQ community, and he was confused but they said there's nothing wrong about it. And I said, well, what I see about it is that you don't discriminate against them. It doesn't make them less of a human being. But what does the Bible say about it? When God created human, created man and woman, it did not say man should marry man or woman should marry woman. So that is why it's important, like Anu says, one parent has to be at home at one point or the other. Because when you work, it depends on the number of hours that you work, that the money you get paid. And it's easy for you to get carried away, because when you work overtime or you work on holidays, they'll give you extra pay for working on holidays. So please, let's just really be careful and seek for advice. I know as Nigerians, we like coding things. In Canada, sometimes there are things you don't need to code. I know that we say, sorry for those that don't understand Yoruba, issue any man for what boni or something like that. It's not everything. Ask for advice, because it's easy to make mistakes and get into debt. It's very, very easy. Any question on academics, on financing, on raising children, on any aspect of your life, please get someone you can trust. Not someone who is too, not someone who likes fake life or wants to show up, someone who is honest, that will tell you the real thing, because it's easy to fall into financial trap. Thank you.
I would also like to add on what.
Sorry, don't be using the word beat in Canada. They don't beat children. So if you use
spank.
It's a criminal offense, please. So they don't beat and they don't scold. So you have to use wisdom in dealing with this kid. Yeah, thank you.
I'd also like to add, concerning children, I would encourage all parents, we need to know what the law actually says in black and white. Because a lot of us misinterpret. The truth is social services is overwhelmed. They if I share my experience with you, it doesn't mean that if you experience the same thing, it doesn't mean that you should expect to have the same kind of treatment. So never hesitate to call any organization. Never be afraid. They will always help you. Don't just live on hearsay. Just like they've said, if you require information in regards to schooling, call the school, call the person in charge of admissions and ask questions based on your own particular case. Regarding children, please be close to your children. Don't bring Niger mentality. The way we were raised, or the way we still raise our people back home in Nigeria, some of those ways are good. There are some values that I personally will not do away with. But there are some values and mindsets that we need to unlearn. Don't be so strict on your children such that you don't know what's going on in their daily life. Please be close to your children. Don't let your children find confidence in their school teachers. And the only way they would always find a confidence in their school teachers is because of the way the teacher addresses and listens to them. Please, it's not like the school division or the school derives joy in causing trouble in people's homes. To them, what we are doing is in the best interest of the children. Always, like one thing I tell my child, I'm a teacher, I am in the system, I know what goes on in the system. One thing I teach my child, whatever happens in the four walls of our house stays here. So one thing that a lot of Nigerian parents is we threaten our children a lot, and that to us is the norm. But here, if even their friends can go and report, not even your child going to report now. Just like the last speaker said, watch the words. There are some vocabularies that we use that to us in Nigeria, it means different things. But to them here, it means something totally different. So these are some of the things that we need to watch out. And also talking about credit. Another trap again is line of credit. If you have a very good credit history, as you keep getting good credit points, at a certain point, they will offer your bank will offer you credit history, and they will offer you a line of credit. And the money they'll give to you, depending on whatever it is that you earn, is very tempting. I would advise you to never, as much as possible, stay within your means. Because the way line of credit works, the day you take from that line of credit, your interest starts building up that day. You start accruing interest. It's different from credit cards. That with credit card, if you don't pay as I went due, that's when your interest starts accruing. But with line of credit, right from the first day you spend out of that account, your interest starts accruing. It's very juicy. Please be careful. A lot of people have run into a lot of debt and they've had to file bankruptcy just because of that. And then, just like other people have said, I would advise, you're coming to Canada, I want to believe, as Africans, we're all very religious and we pray to God. My two cents advice would be pray to God and let God just lead you. If you pray to God and God has answered your prayers and God brings you here, like this Kanu said, Canada is a land that is filled with lots of opportunities. In fact, it is just like that biblical verse that says the last flame with you can own it. Never ever go out of God's plan for you. Don't copy what somebody who's a mentor, what they said. Jesus Christ already died for us. He has already torn that veil between us and him. We can access God directly. Please never rule out the will of God and God's guidance. It will always make a difference. Finally, please be flexible. It's okay to have your big dreams. It's okay to want to practice in your profession and end big. I think the flexible, what I mean by dream. Try as much as possible not to compete. Be you. That's one thing that I've seen, I've observed over my 9 years here. There is a lot of competition in the Nigerian community, and it has hindered a lot of people from moving so fast. Try as much as possible not to get carried away. If you come, I know it's at Khartoum. One thing that I see there, almost every weekend there is a party. There is a Shaibi. The way it's happening in Nigeria is happening here. Follow yourself brain, like they will say. Know why you are here, and don't lose focus. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much, Sister Dolapo, Sister Funke, Sister Anu, for the wonderful insights. We have really overshoot our time by 7 minutes. So we will be wrapping up. There is one last question here. Someone asking the difference between Catholic and public school. So I will quickly answer that. You said, is there a significant difference? Well, there will be a difference in some aspects. For example, children that are used to praying, for example, might still be able to pray in a Catholic school, whereas you may not really, they may be having some kickbacks in the public school. But you will still see a lot of familiar behavior. For example, you can still see a child self-declaring as LGBT or anything they believe in a Catholic school, and they may not prevent them from self-declaring. So that's why many people are saying on the channel that we should be close to our children, so that whatever our children are bringing from outside, we can help them inside to establish things that are right, things that are godly, things that are of appropriate moral value. And there are some other schools too. There are private schools. There are private Christian schools too that you can take your children to. So I would like to use that to answer that question, but we have really overshoot our time now, and I don't really like keeping us. So as the host, I'm sorry that we will be bringing it to a close at this time. And I want to thank everyone for their presence in this meeting, for their contributions, and also for the questions, and also for attending. I want to thank our panelists, especially for how they've been very helpful with their wonderful insights and experiences. Sister Anu, thank you. Sister Dolapo, thank you. Sister Funke, thank you. Thank you also to Pastor Ruben and everyone that contributed. Pastor Emeka, thank you very much. And with that, we have the Peculiar Connect Telegram channel right here in our chat box. And you can click on that link and you can join Peculiar Immigrant Connect, where there is a lot of chatter on some of the things that we need as immigrants. And you can also even ask questions and take things further into that group, and people would respond accordingly. All right, that will bring us to the end. I hope it has been refreshing as it was for me. And we will continue to have sessions as we move into the new year. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Bye for now.